Hi, it's me, Rachel, and today's Financial Friday is my mid-month budget update. Okay, so I am super excited to show you this budget update because when I set up my December budget, I had not fully closed out November yet, and also a lot of things have changed this month as my student loans are completely out of default, and I am just making my first payments, like really truly starting to make my first payments this month. And so a lot of things have changed. I've just rethought a lot of different things. I have made this as big as I possibly can, just so that hopefully you can see it a little bit better. Also, if you hear some whirring in the background, that is my laptop. It is over 5 years old and it works really hard and I love it, and it's going to keep working for at least a few more years. The first thing I did is I have changed around these things right here. So this is what it looked like before. I had just general student loans. That was all 3 loans that came out of another account, and it actually totaled $574, but I put $600 in there every month just for a little bit of cushion. My savings was saving to pay off one of my student loans by the end of the year, which I have already done, and I have already posted a video about that. If you'd like to go and see that, check it out. And then my extra checking, additional checking, these are ones that I don't really like add money to. They're just extra checking accounts I have. And then my sinking funds, and then all of my other regular spending down there. So now you'll see that I have definitely changed things. I have put in rent. This is my actual rent that I pay. I pay my Nelnet undergrad student loans as per my arrangement with my parents, because they are technically paying for my undergraduate degree, and then I live at home, so I pay $200 in rent. Now they are going to be paying me $75, just rounding up $75, but they will be paying me that for me to pay towards this loan. My graduate loan for Navient is here. This right here is going to be, I guess, technically my snowball amount. It's just anything extra that I put towards my student loans. My graduate loan, just my regular payment, and then anything extra I put will be a separate line item. I'm doing that because my graduate loan payment, I have to make the payment. I'm not going back into default. That is never happening again. The extra student loan payment, that amount might actually change from month to month depending on extra income, depending on extra expenditures and things like that. So this is kind of flexible, but my goal is at least $1,000. I still have my extra checking. This is actually part of my emergency fund, which I have labeled as well. And then I have my sinking funds, and I've put a note that see below because the sinking funds are below. You'll notice that I'm putting less money towards sinking funds this month, and I will go over that in just a moment on why that is. The rest of my spending is pretty much the same. I'll go over all of that really quickly after I go over all of the new things that I've added to my budget. So now I'm going to go down to the sinking funds and show you what has changed here. I am going to just kind of go back to November, show you what it looked like before. I had progressive car insurance. I had my gifts fund for holidays and birthdays throughout the year. Amazon Prime, my dues and racing license that I have to have in order to work at Churchill Downs and Keeneland every year. A Lucy fund to take Lucy to the vet and any other emergencies that might occur if something happens to her. Car repairs and replacement fund, clothing fund, medical fund, laptop fund, because, you know, it's getting old. And then family time is just spending time with my family, especially in this uncertain time with my mom being sick. I think that it is very important that I have money set aside to do anything with my family. If something comes up, I am going to do it because my mom is more important than paying off my student loans. And then extra change, that's just because I'm weird and I like to use whole dollar amounts, and as this amount grows I add it to the other funds. So you can see I have a lot of different funds here, and looking in December I actually have fewer funds. I still have progressive because that is a major expense. Every 6 months I pay my car insurance in full in order to save a good amount of money. I still have a gifts fund, but you'll notice I have taken that way down right here. for starting next year's gifts fund. I have added in a category called miscellaneous. This replaces Amazon Prime, it replaces Lucy, it replaces my dues and racing license. It is replacing pretty much anything that I have a sinking fund for that is just like $100 or $200. I am doing that because I kind of feel like I don't need that money just sitting there. I don't need to be putting a little bit of money towards those things that just come up every once in a while, and really I have been cash flowing those things all year and not really using them. If something big were to happen, or even something like my dues or racing license, those things are never really due at the same time, and my racing license is $50 a year and my dues are $60 every 3 months. So I don't feel like I need to be adding money to those things every month when I can easily cash flow it, because right here I'm putting $1,000. This is bare minimum, $1,000 to extra towards my student loans. I think that if something were to happen, something were to come up, I could pull out a little bit of money from my extra payment and put it towards whatever it is that needs to be put towards. So I do have this miscellaneous fund that just will cover anything that comes up. Probably most things will still be cash flowed, but I personally just feel better having an extra fund just in case. Like, just in case I forget about something and I go ahead and I make my student loan snowball payment, and oh no, I forgot that Amazon Prime comes out on the 25th of the month and I wanted to pay my snowball early, and now I don't have the extra money for Amazon Prime, which is about $100. So it's for those just in case things. I feel better having that, but I feel a lot better having this $100 sit here instead of having $125 here, $300 there, and then I don't need $200 sitting there for Lucy, because if something were to happen, I could take it from my snowball payment. And so instead of having, like over $600 just sitting there really not doing anything, I feel like it's better to have this miscellaneous and just have $100 just kind of sitting there, probably not really doing anything. This is really like the biggest change, and I'm actually really excited about it. I feel like medical is a big one that once I save up enough, that's more of a just in case something happens. It's probably more like the other half of my $1,000 emergency fund, because I really only have a $500 emergency fund. And then as far as the laptop, that is a major expense. I don't want to like take that one out, and family time is one too that it just kind of depends on what it is. I mean, if my family decided to just take like a trip to Florida or something like that, like I want to have the money to be able to do that on a whim if that's something that comes up, just because of what's going on with my mom. And so these things I feel like are huge expenses, as well as progressive and gifts. I feel like those are really big expenses that would be better for me to save per month. Car repairs is the same way. Clothing is a small fund that I probably could really just use from my snowball amount, but I have decided to keep clothing as one of my sinking funds, simply for the fact to keep my spending for clothing under control. I don't want to take it from that snowball payment, because if I do that, I feel like it would give me free rein to spend up to $1,000 if I have just the one fund and I don't go over that. Then that will keep that spending under control, because clothes is one of my big spending items, and so I want to keep myself under control with that. So what I would like to do now actually is go over how I've been spending for this month, and I'm going to try to do this very, very quickly just because I spent so much time talking about all the new things in my budget. All of this is as of the 16th of December. I have given $75 to church. I have made this payment, but because it did not come out of my main bank account, I did not put that here. You'll see that in another section. And the same thing goes with my graduate loan payment and my extra student loan payment. I went on ahead and put a 0 here because I don't plan on putting anything to my emergency fund. And then my sinking funds, I have $867. That is interest that was earned from last month from my Capital One 360 accounts, and I highly recommend them, and I put a link down below where you can open an account, and we both get some free money if you do that. And then HP Instant Ink has already come out. Gas, I have spent $19.35. Groceries, I spent $32.97, and then $7.32. That was snacks for my classroom at school, and then $18.37. And then of course I get reimbursed for snacks for school. My teaching allocation, I have spent $10.60 at Target, $11 at Michael's, and $50.25 online at Scholastic. My spending, I spent $5.40 at Subway, and I'm trying to figure out why I put that in spending and not in restaurant. I think I need to move that. I spent $30.74 at the Apple Store to get a new battery for my iPhone 6, and then $7.62 at the movie theater. I went to see The Nutcracker, and it is not what I was expecting. So if you are a huge fan of The Nutcracker, you might not like the movie. But it was time spent with my brother and his girlfriend. I spent $6.03 at McDonald's. My income this month so far, $1149.74 was my first paycheck. My interest was $867. Capital One bonus of $45. Branded surveys, $20. That took me months to get this. I used to do a lot of surveys online, and I've kind of cut that way back. It was just very, very time consuming. I'm still doing a little bit here and there just when I have nothing else to do. But, you know, hey, an extra $20 this month, I'm not complaining. I got reimbursed for snack for $73.91. I got paid from Churchill. I got my second paycheck for $1149.74, and then I got a Christmas bonus from school for $75. Okay, now on to my sinking funds account, but also separate accounts. Like this came from my loans account. I made a payment to Navient on December 1st for $150. I made a payment to KHESLC for $200. This also came out of my loans account. This was kind of like a test of, you know, like taking it out and that kind of thing. And then I made a huge payment on December 13th to pay off my student loan for $10,491.98. And then on the 16th, they automatically took out $273.66 to Nelnet for my undergrad payment, which is actually technically my rent. Also on the 16th, I went to Kroger and I got prescription eye drops for $4.95. And then also on the 16th, I also did all of my Christmas shopping. I actually just posted a video yesterday about everything that I got everyone for Christmas, and so you can go check that out, and this is the detailed spending. So I went to Kroger, and then while I was at Kroger, I stopped in the wine store and I got wine for my assistant to go with another gift that I gave her. I went to Goodwill. I got stuffies for the dogs to play with and tear up in one day, and they only cost like $1 a piece, and I'm not sorry about that. I spent $11.66 at Dollar Tree. I got a couple of books for some friends' kids, and then I also got Play-Doh for my students as well as my friends' kids. And then I went to Barnes & Noble, and I spent $2.93 because $25 of that was a gift card that I had, and I got books for a friend of mine, my uncle, and my brother, and all of their gifts all in one, and only spent $2.93. I'm so proud of that. So I actually spent $40.39 on gifts this year. Super proud of that. Okay, so actually I technically spent a little bit more because there were a couple of things I had already bought, but if you want to know how I kept my costs down, go ahead and check out my video that I posted yesterday. That is everything that I got for my friends and family for Christmas. That is my mid-month budget update. Please leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think, give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.